What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Panda Trades. Thank you for all joining me here and watch this video. Today I want to talk to you about how to get around the PDT rule, the pattern day trader rule that existed here in the States, which means you have to have a minimum of $25,000 in your account in order to trade with that day trading, meaning 3 trades or more on one day. Does it not include for a swing trade, of course. I want to talk to you about 5 tips of what you can do and how you can trade, still day trade, but avoiding the PDT rule. So you still can make money with a small account. You can start with $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and still try to gain some money in this account and see and get the practice of it. In the beginning, it's very important to have the practice. It takes some time to practice, show you know what you're doing, and then you put it into practice, and then you know that the system is working before you start risking your own money. So I want to talk to you about that. The first tip is basically to trade futures. So futures does not have any PDT rule, meaning you can put $500 in your account and you can start day trading with that. You can trade gold, you can trade indexes, you can trade the Nasdaq, you can trade the ES. It's basically like the SPY. SPY is the ETF version of it. You can trade soybeans, you can trade oil, you can trade a lot of stuff with no PDT rule. So this is one option. I usually, the broker that I use is NinjaTrader when I trade futures. And you do have micro. You can trade micros. You don't have to trade regular contract. So let's say, for example, you want to start trading futures and you have only $500. So you go to NinjaTrader, okay? Then you open an account. You open an account with NinjaTrader. You fill up the application. You have an application form, you fill that out, and then basically you create your NinjaTrader platform. You download that to your computer, okay? And then you basically can start trade with $400 or $500. Trade micros, even if you're getting a small amount of money, but you still put it into practice. NinjaTrader is one of them. You do have Tradeovate. A lot of people like to use Tradeovate for future trading. I use NinjaTrader because they have a ETM strategy. That's what I like to use. Some people do not like to put a solid stop loss, but I think that if you put that into indexes, it's kind of important to at least have a stop loss when you don't trade micros, because it's very volatile. Okay, so I'm gonna use Tradeovate. So first thing you want to do is go and create an account, either with NinjaTrader, Tradeovate, and also TradeStation. They do have futures trading. I think as far as the contract goes, I think they're the cheapest. You pay 25 cents to 75 cents for a contract. Not the micro is different amount, of course. So some of them use TradeStation. I have a TradeStation account for day trading, actually, and I have one here and I have one with E-Trade. I use E-Trade to trading futures, trade futures with E-Trade. So this is as far as futures. If you want to trade futures, you don't have to. You still can trade the stock market. You don't have to trade the future market. The second tip to avoid the PDT rule is to trade options. What you want to do is you can do either Thinkorswim. A lot of people like the Thinkorswim platform to trade options. That's a great platform. If you start, I would highly suggest you to start with Thinkorswim or with E-Trade, one of the two. A lot of people like Thinkorswim because they have a nice platform. I do not use the platform, either one. I use TC2000 and I use some of my futures analysis with the SPY basically for entrance. So this is one and this is the other one. But to avoid the PDT rule, you're gonna have to have a cash account. You can't have margin account. It's not gonna work. They're gonna give you the margin account. Basically, they're gonna give you 1 to 4 leverage. Meaning, if you put $5,000, you have a buying power of $20,000. But in order to have that, you have to apply to a margin account. And after you have this margin account, then you can't day trade more than three times. times because the PDT rule, of course. So you can have a margin account and trade swing trades, or you can have a cash account and trade options. Okay, and if you trade options, the money it goes from the cash account won't go back after you close the trade on the same day. It'll go just a day after. So let's say you finish the trade, buying power was $1,000 that you buy the options with. So this $1,000 will go from your account. Let's say you had a $5,000 account. So now you have $4,000 in your account, but the next day you're gonna have $5,000 again. So this is one way to avoid the PDT rule. As far as going with options are great for a small account because basically you buy one option at the strike price, and then you basically buy 100 shares with one option, which is great, and you don't need to pay the full amount of 100 shares. You pay just the strike price. So it's basically cheaper to do it that way. Trade the options with small account and of course cash account. So the first one was futures. You don't have PDT rule. Second one is option account. Cash account, trading options. I like to trade the SPY and the QQQ options because they have a great volume, they don't have a big spread, and you can make a lot of money trade from support and resistance. That's just me. So this is 2 tips. Cash account, that's another tip what we talked about. The 4th tip that I do recommend you to use, it'll be swing trade. You basically take a trade and analyze the market, see where the market gonna go. So you don't in and out on the market in the same day. Usually you swing the trade, meaning you take a trade more than one day. So you can use that and just like scroll and see if you see something on the daily chart, if you see any breakouts that you like, any trends that you would like to trade for the long term. And then that's basically you swing trade, IPOs, earnings. That's usually when I swing trade, I try to get earnings. Great earnings, actually. You can trade earnings. You can go to Finviz, and in Finviz you can basically see everything. You can see earnings if you want to see. You can see you can have IPOs, whatever you want to see, performance, half months, volatile, price. You can sort it out the way you like it. Earning Whisper is another great website that I like to use for earnings. Basically you can see all the companies and they're gonna have earnings. You just sort it out. Let's say Monday, not a lot of earnings. We ended up with earnings season. Well, that's basically how it works. You just go and see the earnings, for example, and then you see what's the growth that expected. And then after it comes out, not as a day trade, as a swing trade, after it comes out, you want to check, you want to see the gaps it created. It's a lot of way to trade earnings, but I love trade earnings. So small account, we can trade futures, we can trade options with the cash account. It has to be cash account for you in order to day trade that. With the buying power, they're gonna come back the day after. We can swing trade. There's no PDT rule on the swing trade, more than one day holding. Or the 5th option, which is kind of connected to the first option. It's basically to connect to a firm, let's say a future firm like TopStep. They're great. You can use them and don't risk your own money. You just play monthly amount in the trading combine, basically 2 steps. You show you're a profitable trader, then you get funded by them. And when you get funded by them, then you can go and trade and show them you're profitable. They got a few options here, and when you see they're profitable, then you basically they fund your account, and then you can trade with them. You can trade either one. You can trade Tradeovate, TradeStation, I think, Tradeovate, NinjaTrader, and TradingView. So they're a legit company. You can do that. So this is the 5th option. So recap of all the options that we have the first option, which is futures that you can trade, that does not have PDT rule, and you can start small. The second one is cash account with trading options. The third one that you want to try will be swing trading, meaning holding it more than one day in the market. And the 4th option will be trading firm. This is basically how you can get started. I know when you get started, most people won't have $25,000 to maintain in their trading account, and this is a really great option to start. What I like to do, as far as me, I like to trade options and futures. It's just me. That's what I used to be doing, and that's how I do that. Sometimes I do stock trading, but I usually go and trade options on SPY and QQQ and futures. But yeah, those are the options you guys have, and I think those are great options to start with and keep going forward and see how you're doing. Because in the end of the day, it's all about practice and risk reward and how much you can make and keep it. You gotta know how to keep the money that you make and not just one day blow it all. You can't win 3-4 days and one day just blow the whole account, which has happened to each one of the traders. You blow one account or more. But those are the options. I hope I helped you a little bit with know what to pick and how to pick them. And if you guys have any questions, you can comment below and I can answer that. And subscribe to the channel for more content, that's for sure. I'm finna put some more content for you guys to check that out. And that's it for this week. I'll see you in the next week. Thank you all for watching.